Welcome back to another episode of the Crown and College podcast presented to you by the CSPN. I am one half of your host, Jeremy, aka Black Dante on Twitter, aka Black Panther, aka Don't Be Wildin' on Evergreen's Internet, aka Is Y'all Niggas Hiring. And as usual, I am joined by my friend and my co host.
Hello, it is me, Tall Bianca XO on Twitter, aka tell your tall auntie she can still wear her tall heels around me, aka because I'm gonna be in my tall heels too. Hi.
You are doing amazing, friend. Um,
Amazing is what I specialize in.
there you go. Um, Thank you for joining us again for another episode. We are a CSPN Media podcast presentation. You can go to our website, cspn.us, and click that podcast tab and listen to all of our episodes thus far. You can leave comments on the episodes. You can rate the episodes on the show pages, on the episode pages. And if you like our country asses and our hot takes and opinions on pop culture and politics and silly shit in the world and music and such, you can help us out by leaving us a review on however you listen to your podcast or your podcast listening device. We will read them. We will give you a shout out. I haven't checked Stitcher in a while. And I haven't checked Google or Google Podcast or Google Play Podcast. But I check iTunes not all the time, but fairly usually because that's the biggest medium. Thank you for everyone that leaves us a review or a rating. We greatly appreciate it. It helps us grow. And the biggest way you can also help is to listen to all of the shows on the CSPN because we got something for everybody. And go to that Keep Our Podcast Free tab on our website if you enjoy all of our content. And we have many sponsors that our boss man and CEO Classic has secured the bag with, and it's of no extra cost to you if you shop with our sponsors through our website. All it does is give Classic a portion of the brick to keep the lights on, so you won't have to pay to listen to me sound like a stolen Subaru. Yeah, let's go with that. I think that's pretty accurate. So yeah, so we bike. And with that said, we are going to give y'all a show today. Before we get into the show, how was your week, Bianca?
This was a strange week. Really kind of shitty introduction to the month of March, which is a month I always like because my mom's birthday is in March. It's when spring usually is, about to pop its head out and maybe not let the titties out just yet, but show a little bit of leg here and there. And yeah, no, so March historically has always been one of my favorite months, but yeah, this one got off to a really weird start. Working though, bills are paid, various other things. Um,
It's a bit special. Well, it's also a bit special for you because this is it is Women's History Month.
it is.
Yes, and this
And
go ahead.
I will say, leaning into that, at this phase in life is kind of weird. Like I'm still in the like why are men phase of this whole situation. Um, so no, like to try to make it seem like I'm making like this like phantom like this quantum leap from like somebody who identified outside the binary to identifying as a transgender woman. It's rife with complexities and difficulties and challenges and
And nuance.
joy and pride and appreciation and fondness and all those other things. Um, so with this, again, like the first, I guess you'd say, month of mine in this context, I'm really just trying to step back and breathe it all in, actually, and just take inventory, like in the personal level, just how much the women in my life, have meant to me, and how their influences may have shaped me and made me the person I am today. Instead of trying to, you know, take some sort of, awkward ownership of it. So that's kind of where I am with it. I mean, obviously, it's something that I'm not sitting here saying like, oh no, I don't appreciate, but like it's like what it means is just a little different from, I guess, maybe somebody who's got a little more skins in the game in terms of being like further along with their transition. So
Right.
I'm still me, and I'm still pretty fucking awesome at it. But yeah, no, this is a time for me to be very introspective and not very like outwardly like performative of anything again other than like wire men. So
I'm picking up what you're putting down. With that said, it's Women's History Month, and I think we said this even last year, like take this month. I mean, really every month and every day, honestly, but take this month to really study women's history and womanhood. And just learn you something. That's just like women in general, like cisgender women, trans women, women, in the binary, and their contributions to like society and their suffrage, and maybe learn some things so you won't be triggered when people say men are trash on the internet. So, just a thought. Speaking of men are trash, we got who? Yeah. Um,
we
got
not
some
short on that ever on this program, of course, but
yeah. But speaking of, I would just like to make a quick statement, and then we'll get into the show. Say no to coworkers. Say no to coworkers. Our friends at JadenXD have been preaching this for years. They have evolved. I have we have formed a joint union and have formed NAC, Niggas Against Coworkers. Because let me tell you, coworkers, the week I had, coworkers love to tell you their business that you didn't damn ask for. And they love to include you in their personal business and they drama that you didn't damn ask for. Now, with that said, me myself personally, am not above listening to my coworkers argue and tell their business and be a spectator to their mess while also not participating in the mess. I'm not above that shit. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. I stand up in my mind of my business at work, but also being privy to their business that they tell themselves. I'm not above that shit because I just be sitting back with my headphones on, pausing my podcast and my music and listening to this shit, just judging in my head. I'm not above that shit, and I ain't gonna sit here and lie and act like I ain't. Because this week was hilarious at work for me with my damn coworkers getting into it and creating drama, and me just sitting back like Joanne the Scammer, just with a smirk and shit. That was me this whole goddamn week and last week, and I ain't above that shit. So say no to coworkers, but also be entertained at your coworkers wilding, while also not participating in the mess. Just a PSA. So with that said, the Oscars were Sunday, right?
It was Sunday.
Yeah, the Oscars were Sunday. Now I don't really watch none of these award shows other than the BET Awards. Not even gonna lie to you. And sometimes I don't even look at the BET Awards because I know they're gonna play that shit, rewind and play that shit like 165 times. But just as a precaution for me, whenever they had these award shows, I be rooting for everybody black. And that's just for me. That's just what it is. Like I don't watch this shit, but I'm rooting for everybody black. And I think didn't Get Out won, right?
Get Out won for best screenplay.
Yes, I think that was the only black that we had to win, right?
I don't have the the Academy Award list of winners, Big Five otherwise, pulled up in front of me. But it's the only one I remember seeing any sort of like discussion about. So let's go with that. Yes.
Okay. But the Oscars, also, a notable figure that caused a bit of controversy and why they won. So, one Kobe Bean Bryant won an Oscar for his short film. Hold on, let me. For his short film, I forget the damn name of the shit, but it was a poem. From my understanding, it was a poem that he wrote and turned it into a short animation film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wrote, I think on the Players Tribune, he wrote Dear Basketball, which was like his ode to the game that brought him so much money, success, fame, and a really unfortunate incident in Colorado.
Yeah. Yes.
Which I don't think he mentioned. I think that was on the cutting room floor of his final draft of Dear Basketball. But he had it adapted into a little short animated film, which I don't know what else he was up against in the category, to be perfectly honest. So I'm not at liberty to really say whether or not he did or didn't deserve it.
Right. Same. I don't know. I don't know the competition. I don't know the landscape for it, but I know that he won. And on the one hand, good. He won. But as you alluded to, one incident in Colorado resurfaced. Because there was a bit of controversy. Because as he won, his rape case resurfaced.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody was okay with that. And I saw a lot of, I mean, to be perfectly frank, to be perfectly honest, and it was predictable, but I saw a lot of people who have kind of been on the "we believe women, I support Me Too" wave, not keep that same energy when it came to Kobe. I saw a lot of, this is distasteful to bring this up right now. This isn't the time. Why? I didn't see any NBC. I didn't see any. Kobe was just trying to buy NBC, at least not yet, anyway. But I did see a lot of. I did see a lot of people change their tune because it was Kobe. I did see a lot of people who was just upset at the notion that someone would even bring it up. I saw a lot of people attack people and even publications who even dared to be like, oh, yes, it is good that Kobe won this Oscar, but with a lot of people that win things or have success, there's nuance in that he is troubled and also did a very terrible thing, allegedly. So we don't get sued.
Thank you.
So yeah, because niggas is broken. Niggas ain't got time to get sued. Because Kobe could buy all of us. Yeah. So with that, how much do you remember about the case?
Oh, I mean, I was there for all of it. Oh my God, like I was active on the internet at that time. So remember all of the sort of ongoing discussion about it. I remember the initial like controversy of like, oh my God, like Kobe Bryant's been accused of this, because I mean, up to that point, the other big controversy that Kobe was involved with was with the woman that when he married his wife, and how they met while she was still in high school. And that was a big thing. And that
I didn't know.
Yeah, she was 17 years old. She was a background dancer in an Eastsiders video. Draw your own conclusions. I'm not gonna Not putting myself in between that. No, not happening. Um,
Right.
anyway, Kobe was in the building. He was working on his musical album, which went, 10, allegedly. And
Yo, I saw somebody on Twitter. No. Fucking our boy Rashani over at Single Simulcast. They were talking about Kobe. And they said when he was rapping, he sounded like a hotel.
from what I remember, he's not wrong. But no, okay. So, right. So, yeah, Kobe, marries this girl as she's finishing high school. Class 2000. Whoop whoop. Um, well, they started dating. They got engaged while she was finishing high school. They got married the following year. Um, and here's the list of people who did not go to Kobe Bryant's wedding on his side: his parents, his sisters, his agent, or his teammates.
Now that is interesting. See, I didn't know this.
Yeah. And so, right. So there was that, but again, Kobe had the most Jordan-like Jordan thing going for him as well. So the criticisms weren't but so pointed because again, this was a time when like Jordan was out of the league and people were looking for who that next Jordan was going to be, and Kobe seemed like he was it. He was in Los Angeles. He was winning the titles and everything else was going on, and then this happens. The summer after the three-peat ended. And yeah, like I said, I was active on the internet at the time. I remember all of the details. I remember most of the discussion about it. There was your usual round of not so much on the extremes, but you had people who were like, yo, that's preposterous. Like, I don't think he would do that. Then you had people who were like, it's fucked up that he cheated on his wife, but I'm not sure that he would cheat on his wife and do something that was not consensual. Then you had people who were like, Kobe's, been awarded so much so young at age and probably thinks he can do whatever he wants. And so is super like scandalous with his. And then there were people who were like, yeah, that nigga did that shit.
You know what's crazy? I think that when it came out from what you, I think that was a more. I put it like this: I think, which honestly is crazy to fathom this, but I think had that happened now, it would have been a lot worse as opposed to when it happened back then. From as far as the discussion goes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, back then, like we were not armed with the nuance, just as a stance in society, such that these discussions were just categorically harder to parse, like down to the micro. Because if you were doing this in a barbershop, I mean, barbershops have been the same for 100 years now. But if you were doing this online, there was still this sort of air of like the internet's kind of the wild, wild west. And so, also keep in mind, again, I was 19 years old when this all went down. So,
right.
I'm talking with my peers. I'm talking about teenagers to people in their early 20s being seen as like elder statesmen. And, as we've learned, obviously in the years since then, people in their early 20s don't know shit.
Correct.
And so, again, the internet was the Wild Wild West back then. So it was a lot of we just got our jokes off. And it was like, yeah, we don't really know each other. So we're just going to get these jokes off. We ain't nothing but screen names. Like now, again, it's like, the notion of being on social media is like we got real names and faces and like family stories and shit behind all this. And, some people have been on Facebook for over a decade. Like, the world has changed. Like, all that shit's in the palm of your hand now. The time for nuance and the ability to explore and to learn more about what it is that you're reading, consuming, taking in is more heightened now than it's ever been.
Right.
And so, like we remember Dave Chappelle, for example, who has been criticized for the timbre of his recent comedy work. This shit would have lit the universe on fire back in 2004. Because again, it's 2003, 2004 we're talking about. That's when Chappelle's Show was like king of the fucking world in comedy. And so, you know, when he had the skit where, you know, he did the sexual consent form, like we look at that now and it's like, that's so patently stupid. I don't see why anyone would even seriously like even look at this. But back then, like, we chuckled when he threw the condom at the trash can and yelled Kobe.
Right. It's anecdotal back then.
So, and so how we parse things back then versus how we parse. I'm not making excuses necessarily. I'm just saying that's what we were as a society. Like, that was a joke we could make that now in 2018 doesn't stand. You know, you can make Bill Cosby pudding pop jokes in 2003. You can't make those in 2018. In fact, you haven't been able to make those for a pretty long time now. And on it goes. We're just better equipped to not joke about shit that needs to be taken seriously. And a thing I'm kind of dodging on purpose, but I guess I'll just go ahead and dive into, is that obviously the case was dropped. Doesn't mean he was innocent. His statement was that he felt that the encounter was consensual, but, you know, going through the legalese of everything, he came to realize that...
I got to pull it up.
He came to realize that she didn't view the incident the same way, and, you know, listening to her attorney and even her testimony in person, you know, he understands how she didn't feel that she consented to the encounter. He says he understood how she felt that way. And I'm going to say contrition only goes so far. And what I mean by that is you can apologize, and there'll be people who, you know, that's sufficient. Like, if you can know yourself better and do better going forward, that's enough for some people. And the way you prove that is just through a lifetime of, like, don't you ever cross my trust again. And some people legitimately live up to that, and good for them. And then some people you're not going to win back. You just won't. So when it comes to, you know, that second group of people, again, the best apology is better behavior.
Yeah.
And I feel like many who have been wronged would say that, you know, like, you can say you're sorry, but, like, please just be better to me, be better for me, and that'll be proof that you mean this apology. You're not just saying it because you got caught or whatever. So,
and not even just for me, but also for yourself too.
What I'll say is that's the story about Kobe Bryant in that realm. And again, that was 15 years ago, and I think the passage of time softens the blow, while at the same time, again, in this social climate we're in, it's worth revisiting, and it's worth saying, like, hey, how was this handled? Like, are we okay with, like, the words he used? Are we okay to let his improved behavior be our apology? Or is he just personally buried as far as I'm concerned? Like, I appreciate it in that way. The thing I'm not so much a fan of is, like, the rewriting of, like, the way things actually happened. And not that I witnessed any of that, but sometimes it does happen where it's like people try to rewrite the way events went down, and it's like, no, let's remember the way the world was before, you know, iPhones and before Twitter and before the ability to have these discussions with thousands of people in real time. And even just the way we understood the world back then.
I don't think that's happened with Kobe. Because I think it's just, you know, it's one of those things where you can't even, you know what I mean? Like, I saw dudes, like, just irate at the fact that it was even brought up. You know, I don't even think we've gotten to the point where it's, you know, we haven't even got to the rewriting of history phase. We are at, don't you even bring this up. This is disrespectful. It's not the time. Well, when the hell is it the time? You know what I mean? Like,
and yeah, those are the people that's another class that I just don't have anything for, like, all the same. Like, that not the time stuff. It's like, no, the time is now because we're talking about it now. Like, it became the time as a virtual circumstance. And let's just deal with it and actually address what's going on, or just, like, get out of the way and don't be here making this ruckus over nothing.
And I also think, like, it's because when you, like, read the case, like, one, like, I was obviously I'm like younger than you are, But at the time, like even when I got of age and like knew about it, like I didn't know a lot of the details about it. So some of the details about it, even as I'm revisiting the case and I'm learning, like I didn't know that they found his DNA on her. That I didn't know. They also like the lawyers. They also found like DNA from like another person or other couple of guys or whatever. But it's like they also kind of did that classic thing that they still do today, where it's like, oh well, I mean, she had sex with other guys and it was consensual. So I mean, how could Kobe, rape her or whatever? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. That's a stupid argument.
right,
Exactly.
right. So like,
Um,
I didn't know they found the DNA evidence on it. And I also didn't know the statements that she made that she gave to the police and the statements that he gave to the police. So it's worth revisiting. I think if people separate their admiration for Kobe on the basketball court and
well, their
really
hatred.
or their hatred, and revisit this case with some objectivity
Right.
and
Rename him Kobe Smith.
right, instead of being Kobe Bryant, rename it Kobe Smith and just look at it. And it's like, okay, Kobe has an incredible resume. Now he has an Oscar, but he also has this, and it's worth noting, and especially with the climate that we're in, because this is kind of, I mean, more or less, this is kind of textbook how nobody, I don't want to say nobody, it's rare that a man who, and I mean, men are usually the people that commit these kind of crimes. It's rare that a man really like a man gets counseled or sees justice. You know what I mean? Like, it's not saying it doesn't happen, but it's kind of rare. You know what I mean? Because it's so the culture of assault and power and money and toxic masculinity, it is so ingrained in this society, even to the goddamn criminal justice system. Like, it is so hard to prove like they found evidence of this nigga. Like you know how people always say, well, just take a rape kit. Okay, they did that and they found the DNA of this nigga back then.
Right.
Back then.
And so the thing about that is like, and I'm pulling up some facts of the case myself. Um, is that Kobe's not saying that they didn't have sex. Like I think that's the thing about it. Like he's not saying they didn't have sex, and I don't think she's obviously not saying that they didn't have sex.
She's saying it wasn't consensual, and he's saying
Right,
it.
and he's saying I thought it was. Apparently, I misread something or whatever between the two of us.
It's a little bit like
But
that.
yeah, no. Initially, he did. Yeah, his initial report that they took said that he said he didn't have sexual intercourse with her. So like that's like okay, now that's garbage. Like you know that you shouldn't do.
Right.
And apparently, again, like it was like, oh yeah, I didn't do that, and they were like, nigga, we got evidence, and he was like, okay, you've made a compelling point, but I thought it was consensual.
Right. It's like he didn't believe himself at first, and then it was like, oh, okay. It's almost like the police convinced him, like, yeah, you did this shit, nigga. You know,
Right.
which is terrible, but it's also kind of like, damn, nigga, the police had to convince you that you did this shit. Like, ain't it the other way around? Like, you supposed to convince the police that you didn't do it. But it's like, more facts coming. It's like, oh, damn. It's like, well, shit, maybe I did do this shit. God damn.
Good Lord. Oh my God. I'm reading the paragraph from this round. I don't want to read it out loud, but it just. So I ate right before we began podcasting.
Right.
And I almost unate with this paragraph I just fucking read because, oh my God, humans are disgusting. Anyway. Yeah, no. I think, again, to put a kind of fine point on this. Again, there's no wrong time to ever discuss these things. I do think that, you know, again, there's an appropriate way to have the conversation, and I think for the most part, most people color within those lines. The thing that does annoy me is when, you know, people just come out like with their, you know, trebuchets and shit, hollering cancel, 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 cancel. It's like, yo, like, let's actually like talk about this, because if that's what we were gonna do, like, we would just do that every single time, and like there'd be no one standing. So yeah, let's talk about this. Well, the reason I say let's talk about it is because, like, let's reach that as a consensus instead of one person banging that drum and trying to convince people. Like, that way. Like, I'm the one who I'm like, you know, like, personally, I'm like, hey, if you're going to cancel someone, like, by all means do it. But, like, don't just have me out here canceling people willy-nilly. Like, let's nail that down. Let's reach consensus. Like, for example, there's somebody we're going to be talking about in a few minutes who, like, at this point, there's not much more that needs to be said about him. Like, he can go. But with something like this where we're revisiting, like, again, like, I think it's important to have intelligent discussions about the hows and whys of everything, because we did not have that 15 years ago. We didn't have that 14 years ago. And it's like, now we can do it. Let's do that.
Fair, but I also am of the mind that some people, even 15 years ago, did know, and we may not have known they knew, but they knew. We're just finding out that they knew because we are connected more to the world via social media, and they have been on fuck that nigga and cancel that nigga since 15 years ago. And who, in my opinion, who are we to tell them not to say that just because we late to the party? You know what I mean?
Oh no, I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying not to. I'm saying that can't be the whole discussion. Is what I'm saying. That's all.
I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think
like if we're talking about it, it's going to be talked about, and like I'm all for that. But I think the thing is, when you come in and you go, you know, like, again, you just come in just waving this singular message flag, other people are going to come in and they're going to go, no, 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 and then like we've hit this really stupid impasse where it's like we could at least talk through this.
I hear you. I do. I hear you.
And the reason I say that because of the nature of head asses. Like, and not that I'm like trying to protect them, I'm trying to protect against them. I don't want head asses drowning out meaningful discourse. Because we know you've seen people jumping other people mentions being head asses, and you know that they grind intelligent discourse to a halt in ways that like no one else can. Like the alt-right's good at that shit. The onk-right's good at that shit. And like
that's true. That's true. That's true. Fair. So yeah, I think Kobe's case is a good one to revisit or learn about if you don't know, you know, because I think it is. I think, like with most things in history, I think it's you know what? Why are we here? I think it's important for us to learn and not only just have discourse, and I'm specifically talking especially about men here, but to learn of, like, here's the thing, the end goal should be, well, the end goal shouldn't be, okay, well, we're just gonna stop or we're just gonna correct or try to prevent men from assaulting or raping. Like it shouldn't just, you get what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't just be we're going to eliminate the extremes. Let's also try to eliminate the small things, you know, like the being weird about getting women's numbers and stuff, you know, or just making women feel uncomfortable, period. You know what I mean? Like, we can't just be like, okay, well, rape is bad. Okay, no shit. But what about this other shit that men do that makes women feel uncomfortable and could possibly lead to the extremes? You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be, we can't just look at the Harvey Weinsteins or the Bill Cosbys or the R. Kellys and say, let's eliminate them. We also have to eliminate the behaviors of the Kobe's or shit, the Aziz Ansari's. You know what I mean? Like, because I think when we get into just be like, because we get into like this weird territory. Because I saw people doing this with Aziz Ansari, where it's like, well, we can't focus on this because it's minor as compared to Harvey Weinstein, and the Aziz Ansari case is distracting from the Harvey Weinstein. Like, no, nigga, all this shit is bad. All this shit is bad, and all this shit is bad behavior, TM period, that men, the brand TM, do to women. And if we're going to get better and eliminate this shit, we can't just focus on the big shit. We have to focus on, because we're humans, we can focus on multiple things at a time. We have to focus on the big shit, the little shit, the shit in between, because ultimately the goal, it should be to improve men's behavior and ensure better safety of women. And we can't do that if we just focusing on the extremes of the world. You know, we gotta we have to encompass all that shit, and we're capable of doing that because we're humans capable of focusing on multiple things at a time.
Some of these niggas anyway are.
Yeah, but yeah. That is correct. So yeah. Don't be a head ass over people talking about Kobe's case. It is pertinent, especially in the time that we're in, and it should be revisited and it should be discussed and it should be talked about. And if nothing else, read and learn about the case before you jump on this hill defending Kobe.
Yes.
Please read about the damn case. Because I mean, at the very minimum, we can attest to this. I mean, at the very minimum, the nigga halfway owned the shit, admitted to the shit any damn way. You know, like at that point, like what the hell else can you fucking defend if the motherfucker listened to his accuser's testimony and was like, well, shit. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Like, I mean, what else you got to defend at that point? You know what I mean? So anyway, moving on in other men of trash news. So, and in nobody ever gets canceled, quote unquote. So this is from Fashion Law. I think this is more or less like a blog site for fashion or something. An independent source for fashion and law, business and culture. But yeah, this is a piece that was written. 21 rape allegations later, Ian Connor remains in fashion's busiest circles. For those who do not know who Ian Connor is, he is
good. God, I wish I had the pleasure of not knowing who the fuck he is. Ugh.
He's most notable. Yeah, he's most notable for being in Kanye's crew. And like say, like he's real like in the fashion scene and shit and the designer and all that shit. But yeah, this motherfucker has 21 rape allegations, and I think did he admit to like one of them or some shit?
I don't
know.
I don't know. Maybe. It sounds right. Possibly. I don't know. Let's see.
Oh yeah, okay. But I got part of the article up. I'm going to pick and choose. Well, not pick and choose, but like it's a lot to read. But anyway, yeah. Beyond the disturbing, let's see. Okay, here we go. Profiled by Vogue in February 2016, the Fashion Bible praised Connor for his I don't know how to pronounce that word, for his sense of style, his feelings, and to try the most fashion forward trends. It seemed like the fashion industry and certainly the streetwear world have found its newest it boy. That is until 2 months later when Malika Anderson spoke out. The 23-year-old Decatur, Georgia native and Emory University student published a lengthy post on her blog, Malika Speaks, dated April 8 to 2016. Oh, I'm sorry. Trigger warning. I'm sorry. Classic, put a trigger warning in this when you editing this shit. I'm sorry. My apologies. Ian Connor is a rapist, and I know firsthand. In that post, Anderson details very specific terms. Her then budding friendship with Connor, which she claims ultimately turned into rape and was followed by attempts by Connor to intimidate her into silence. Anderson told Complex in an interview in April 2016 that she did not get a rape kit exam, but several days after the alleged incident, she was tested for sexually transmitted diseases at Emory University Clinic. In that same interview, Anderson described how her life subsequently played with shame following the alleged rape by Connor. She was embarrassed, felt guilty, and although she said she knew she didn't do anything wrong, she still felt guilty, was in denial, and was angry. For over a year, she felt unable to speak out about Connor. Then, in late 2015, she tweeted she called Connor a serial rapist in a tweet dated December 3rd, 2015. And then the harassment and threats began. The same day she posted her tweet, Anderson claimed she received a handful of distressing messages from a Twitter account that she believes was created and controlled by Connor in an attempt to scare her from revealing any more information about the encounter. It was then that Anderson said she decided to file a police report, as confirmed by the Special Victims Unit of the DeKalb County Police Department. Said, quote, I've been thinking about reporting it for a while and I had just been hesitant. But after that, I was like, oh no, I've had to deal with so much because of this. I was so depressed and went through a lot. And I was like, you're not about to come back and harass me anymore. It did not result in any charges, which, no big surprise because it's rare that these niggas get charged or even see jail time. Now, Beyond the disturbing details of Anderson's experience with Connor, her post brought about an even more disturbing revelation. Connor had allegedly assaulted others. The day after Anderson's blog post went live, April 2016, 5 more women, including Janai Stapley, 19, Tyron Williams, Khadija Diallo, who told the Daily Mail that she was 16 when Connor allegedly raped her and was too afraid to file a police report. Alyssa, who opted to speak anonymously, and R&B singer Jean Dow spoke up. Wow. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. I think somebody that this nigga was beefing with, basically outed the nigga and confirmed the shit on Twitter. It was a while back. I forget who the fuck it was. As I read the article, maybe it'll pop up. But I remember this shit going on Twitter or somebody in that same crew that was beefing with him pretty much confirmed the shit. Which was a shitty way to confirm the shit, but they were beefing or whatever. So you know niggas. But yeah, then we get to Amber Rose, who they say model turned women's rights advocate. Said that she had spoken with 21 women who alleged that they were assaulted by Connor. Amber, as Rose very aptly told the Daily Beast that June is innocent until proven guilty. But when you have 21 women from all over the world that do not know each other but have similar stories, it gets to a point where it's like enough.
In summary, fuck this nigga.
Yeah.
And it's weird because, like, he's not necessarily a public face. Necessarily, he does his work behind the scenes for the most part, which is all the better for everyone's eyes, thankfully. But no, like, he needs to not have the access to people that he currently has. Because, I mean, the number of victims he has can only grow.
Right.
And if blacklisting him keeps him from making another victim out of his position, then so be it. At this point, like nobody's talking about it. Like actually, like they interview him and they talk about like strictly fashion, and no one asks him about, hey, like all these people have these allegations against you. Like what's going on? So I don't know. It's something how
it's one of those things where it's kind of like to bring the point home of like how everybody's like overreacting to like Me Too and like all the this accountability for men being trash. Like nobody, again, it's rare. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it's rare that somebody gets canceled, quote unquote, or sees this shit. You know what I mean? Like that's why the whole thing is like rape allegations or allegations ruin a man's career and name. No, they don't. No, they don't. R. Kelly's still working. You know, as in this article here, just to bring the point home, Terry Richardson has been accused of sexual assault almost 10 times. Photographer Mario Testoni a handful of times. Matt Lure, Bruce Weber over 3 times each. 25-year-old Ian Connor has been accused of rape by a whopping 21 different women. That is even more than President Donald Trump, who has been accused of sexual harassment by over 20 different women. So it's like, again, it is very rare that someone gets an rape allegations thrown on them, and it's like, oh, we're not gonna work with this nigga, or oh, we shun this nigga. It doesn't really happen. Like people that as a society and the culture that we have, we just don't give a fuck. Like if a dude is accused of rape, even if a dude is convicted, tried, found guilty, generally we still kind of don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like it's like we are a country, a society that just does not give a shit about assault and rape and all that shit. Like we say we do, but we don't. Like motherfuckers still work. Like it might not be the exact same job. I mean, Harvey Weinstein, for God's sakes. I mean, this nigga in optics wise, yeah, he's away, but he still has all the money. He still has some semblance of the power that he's accumulated over the years, which is sad because he spent those years harassing and assaulting women. You know, but he still has it. Like you can't necessarily take that away. You can strip him of his power and stop him from continuing to do the shit. But he ain't gonna see a day in jail. You know what I mean? R. Kelly still making music. They still play R. Kelly music on the goddamn radio. You know what I mean? Like Ian Connor, you know, he with his connections to Kanye, that boy is still gonna be working, and he more or less is a rapist. It's just it's sad. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why the overreaction, like, oh, y'all just coming after everybody. You know, you gonna ruin this man's reputation. No, they ain't. No, they ain't.
Right? Like, we're not ruining his reputation. He shouldn't have did that shit. He wouldn't have a ruined reputation to be worrying about.
Right. So, you know, it's just we have to do better. We have to do better. The Ian Connors, all these niggas, this behavior has to go. Because if it doesn't, then what the fuck is the point? So in lighter news, as soon as my as soon as my damn Spotify decides to stop being a nigga and cooperate with me.
Is that what you're looking for?
Hold on, is that what I think it is? I might not have got that far in the damn mixtape.
Are you looking for one Lonzo Ball's mixtape? Ball on the Ball?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I've been playing it in the background the whole time we've been on. I'm not sorry about that. Because this shit is jamming. Like,
okay, so
bops all over the place.
Okay, well, I don't know about that now. But okay, so if you don't give a fuck, which you probably may not, and it's fine. So Lonzo Ball, we all know that he is the son of loud, angry, head ass uncle, but who kind of sort of halfway sometimes has a good point, LeVar Ball. Okay, so we know that. All right, cool, got it. All right. This nigga has a mixtape. And some of this shit is fire. I can't even lie. Some of this shit is fire.
Ain't that what I just said? And you told me, wait, nope.
No, you said all of this shit is fire. And no, it ain't.
No, I said this shit got bops all over the place.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like it's a couple tracks. I just kind of let the little trap snares play and be great in their own little way. But yeah, it's got some good little songs on it. I like it actually.
Cause I heard about it on. I heard about it on my boy Rashani Single Simulcast. They were talking about it, and I was like, they played a couple of tracks, and I was like, okay, let me hear this shit. And see for myself. And this shit got some bops. I can't fucking lie. Now, before we get these jokes off and also get the sprays off, do you think Lonzo is a better rapper than he is a basketball player?
No.
Okay. Do you think he will be a better rapper than he will be a basketball player?
Absolutely not. And the reason I say that is because I feel like Lonzo legit only raps for fun.
Yeah,
not because I don't feel he can like be some heir to the throne or whatever, but like I don't want to get too like over the top with it and how I listen to again a mixtape by a 20-year-old. But how old he was 19, 20. But no, like basketball is like what he has done for a living his entire life. He, as far as we can tell, I mean, he's playing fine now. Like he had a pretty big game the other night, and he had the injury earlier in the season, but had an okay rookie season. Seems like he has room to get better, and on a team that's surrounded by people who are pretty young and looking to get better together. So I feel confident for him in that way. Like I'm not sitting here like trying to anoint him like Magic did before he played his first NBA game or anything like that. But I think he'll be fine in the NBA.
But back to this music though.
I just happen to enjoy the rap. I'm my head's been not into this shit like the whole time.
The nigga, he got some bops. It's got some bops. Like the first song, like play grind mode right quick, and then I'll turn you up in the control room.
Which one?
Grind mode.
Grind mode. Okay, one sec.
Like this shit is banging.
Oh no!
Like the shit is fucking banging. Like
too slow. I love. Grandma. Get to the bag, get to the paper, get to the money. Grandma. Get to the cash, you'll see you later. Come in and run it. Grandma. I get the bag, I get the paper, I get the money. Grandma. I know that she fine, but $1 worth more than a dime. I'm in Grandma. 2018 coming with the flame, we starting it right. Brody is pumping the beat, B Jones is picking it up and he giving it life. KP is up on the feet, DC en route, yeah. Team synchronized, bringing their crowd to their feet, should be on their knees. Wow, we blessing the mic, you'll see me shining at night. Diamonds too bright, looking like sunny delight. I'll PJ the flight, might take off tonight. Check up the temperature right, we might just land in Dubai. Look to the sky, damn, all my beats fly. Taking my piece of the pie, don't look surprised. All of my bank accounts rise, looking at shorty, she fine. Yeah, she a dime, but I can't pay her no mind. Too focused on grind, no, I can't give her my time. Tell her to wait in the line, not in my prime, but I shine. Optimus Prime, tell them to all get behind. Oh no. Hey, no.
Yeah, he that was one of the ones I was bobbing my head to. Like, I like that shit. Like,
this album, nigga was flowing. I can't even.
Right.
You can't front on it. Nigga was flowing. Like I also like the nigga got good beats on this shit. Like I don't know who the fuck LeVar pull strings to get some of these beats for this shit. But the shit got some boppers. Now, some of the shit is very miss. Like Super Saiyan, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. Because for a song that's called Super Saiyan, knowing like the Dragon Ball Z reference, it was not Super Saiyan at all. It was very, very Earthling. It was very, very Krillin. No, fuck that, because Krillin be having some awesome moments. It was very, very Yamcha. Very, very Yamcha. But like, nigga, this shit is shit is jamming a little bit. I can't front. I'm probably gonna add this shit into my rotation. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be at work listening to fucking Lonzo Ball's mixtape.
There are worse fates. You could be listening to Kobe Bryant's tape.
Oh no, baby, what is you doing?
Or Tony Parker's tape.
Wait. Tony Parker has a tape?
Yes.
Why? Why?
Wait, are you playing? You didn't know Tony Parker had a...
I did not know that. I'm dead serious. I did not know Tony Parker had a tape.
Oh, okay. Okay. Ooh. Here we go. I mean, it's in French, but whatever. Yeah, he kind of getting his Brian McKnight on in this shit. It's kind of lit, actually.
On s'est connus, on était gars, c'était mon premier love. Bien avant le basket, notre premier cul, toujours ensemble. À l'époque, on était grands l'un l'autre. On était jeunes, on était fous, à qui la faute, on n'était rien sans l'autre. On était simples, on était deux, on pensait un. Un seul amour, un seul avenir, un seul chemin.
Hey, I'm not gonna let this shit ride a little bit. I don't know what the fuck he's saying because it's in French, but I like this shit.
I mean, it's not that bad. Like it could be a lot worse.
Why do I feel like he's saying some nasty shit in French?
The song is called Premier Love, so that's definitely in play.
Oh, yeah. He probably telling somebody. He probably telling a woman they're gonna make the room stink. Okay, then who they saying on the hook?
Some nigga with braids.
So Trey Songz cousin.
Oh my god. Trey Yodels.
Travate Yodel.
It's not Trey Songz, it's Deuce Sings.
Dude, what shit? Close enough. Shit. But yo, I cannot fucking lie, dog. I like this track. I also like how this nigga literally has a song named after his dad. And it's his dad.
Oh yeah, it's the opening track, yeah. It's the best.
Right. It's this opening when he got drafted and shit. I'm not gonna lie, I do like that. This nigga has his dad as a whole ass song. Not gonna lie, I do like that. I like the touch. I fucks with the vision. I fucks with it. So yeah, we're up here saying that LaVar Ball's mixtape it's worth listening to. It's worth listening to. Is what we're trying to relate to y'all. Speaking of an album that's worth listening to, so it is a monthly Bring It Back. For those who don't know, this is where we review an album that's at least 10 years of age or older, and do exactly what the segment title implies and bring it back and discuss it. And this week we are doing Ginuwine's second studio album, 100% Genuine, which was released on March 16th, 1999.
And before we go any further, apologies if we did this last year. We couldn't remember. And the other problem with doing Bring It Bikes in March is no one drops heat in March. Like,
yeah, that's the other thing. No niggas, I don't know what it is about March, but niggas is like, you know what? We just not gonna drop no fire. Like, March is just a throwaway month. Like, we just gonna skip over And we just gonna prepare y'all for the song. We just gonna wait until April here on after to drop heat because niggas do not believe in releasing fire in fucking March. But so yes, 100% Genuine. The album peaked number 5 on the Billboard 200 charts by August 2000. It was certified double platinum in sales.
Whoa! Wait, what?
Right. After
What? Wow! Like we.
I did not know the album did that. I did not know that until just now.
Wow, like purchasing power for R&B was at a fever pitch.
After sales exceeding 2 million copies in the United States. Wow. Yeah, it was certified gold in June 1999 and double platinum by August 2000. Okay.
Well, I don't know what to say. I'm tongue tied right now. I words are hard.
Mistakes were made.
Oh goodness, there's spaghetti everywhere. Wow. Okay, let's get into the merits of this album, shall we? Okay, so
first of all,
it basically begins with what's so different. Let's just start there.
Yeah, more or less.
And I'm actually gonna get the album playing in the background while we discuss it. And like this was the era of rappers burying their best songs on like track 12, track 15, track 17, shit like that. R&B was still swinging for the fences like in the first like 2 tracks.
Yeah.
It was like, yo, we about to gently punch you in the chest with like our best work. And gently because we're R&B artists, but like you about to get all we got, like the good shit early. Do you remember the video for this song?
For which one?
What's so different?
What's so different? I do not actually. I do not remember the video. It's been a while.
I don't know. It's just another one of those Genuine videos where like he's just doing his dancing thing and.
Yeah, he was a dancing that we don't talk about how Genuine was a dancing ass nigga enough. We don't talk about
it. I mean, and I don't know if it's the whole like there can only be oneness that we partake in today that we just like retrofit that shit and it's like, yeah, Usher was the dancing ass nigga back then, not Genuine. It's like, no, they both were.
Yeah, we do have a tendency to do that where it's like it can only be one. But that's another conversation for another day.
Anyway, yeah. So this album obviously produced by Timbaland.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna get to. Like, first of all, Timbaland's ass was all over this goddamn album, beats and all. Like I don't know what it is. Like Timbaland did and still does, even though I haven't heard anything produced by him in a long time. If Timbaland is in it, you will know because it has a signature Timbaland style to it. No matter who he's doing, no matter what artist, whether rap, R&B, both, what the fuck ever, it's got that signature Timbaland thing to those beats.
Yeah, it's just like it's the same way you know a Pharrell beat, the same way you know a Just Blaze beat, you know a Timbaland beat. With Timbaland, like there was something about the way like his R&B beats, like for example, like We Need a Revolution, Need a Resolution by Aaliyah, or Hit 'Em with the Heat by Missy Elliott. Like all these songs have these really like very punchy hip hop sounding.
On not to cut y'all, but on this album, even the slow shit, like So Anxious. Like it's just that whatever the fuck he puts in it, he just does. And this album now, content wise, I think revisiting it, and maybe it's just with better, older ears, but content wise, not Genuine's strongest work.
No, no. This is well, no, this is just a young Genuine who
Yeah.
I'm trying to frame this right.
This is kind of whole faded Genuine.
Yes, there you go. And it's weird saying it as this is like by far his most introspective album on this song on this album. And what's so different? Where he's like, I mean, you saying shit is different, but you cheated on him. How I know you ain't gonna cheat on me? Like,
right.
I don't even know if I should continue doing this. Like, let me just drop your ass off at home and keep it moving because you got a man already. And I mean, that's totally not the way that song goes in 2018. That song is, you know, you have Bryson Tiller on it and the BPM is slowed down by about a third, and the next thing you know, you're singing about, yeah, man, so it doesn't matter though. I can love you better. Or however the fuck he be masturbating through his songs, but
right. Nowadays he be rap singing about how he found out via Snapchat.
Right. That was your man on the Snapchat. You could go. He's a whack. Like, come on, man. Like, stop it.
Right. So yeah, like content. You could tell this was made in the mind of like young and dumb. Like this is basically like The Bachelor Part 2. More or less.
You know what?
I mean, more or less.
Good old. And I mean, where were you when you first heard So Anxious?
Who?
Because friend, I remember.
The first time I heard So Anxious, I was in the car with my cousins, because I was attending a basketball game with them, and they had they were much older than me, and they were we was in the car on the radio, and I was hanging with them. I just wanted to go, and I heard this shit, and I had no business hearing this shit. I heard this shit, but I heard it, and I remember because I was with my cousin, his girlfriend, and our other cousin at the time, and I just remember like my cousin giving his girlfriend this look when the shit came on. And again, my ass is too young for any of this shit. like in today's time, he was giving her that look like, I am gonna tear your ass up tonight.
You're gonna get that work.
Right, you go get that work. And so I didn't know what the hell was going on. But obviously older, like looking, it's like that. This is one of those times. This is one of them songs where somebody might be making a baby tonight.
Correct. And okay, so real quick, this single was released June 1st, 1999. Which was a really long time after the album was released, almost over a year after. And yeah, I was just home from school for my freshman year of high school. And the way it went back then is like we'd be on like a 3-way call or more on the phone. And we'd have like BET or MTV or VH1 back when they still did videos. Or The Box, rest in peace.
Right.
And we would just jump around from channel to channel on the phone with each other, like talking about the videos we were watching. And we saw this, and then there was the breakdown where he did the dance with the hat and everything. And I just remember being like, "Yo, this shit is fly as hell." And 15 years old, we're like, "Yeah, we need to put this on the date playlist." And it's like, what do you mean date playlist? Like, we still get Rise Without Mom style dates. What are you talking about? Like,
what is true?
Like, you gonna put that on a mixtape and y'all gonna listen to it with one earbud and one earbud? Like that's what you mean?
Right. That's what's hot in these streets.
But no, yeah, So Anxious. Yeah, like I said, I remember vividly being on the phone with like 4 friends, like all on like this extended 3-way call when we saw this video, and like, oh, look at Genuine go. Getting this little swerve on and shit.
Right. Remember those goddamn braids he had? Those cornrows?
Mm-hmm. That was his hashtag look back in them days.
Right. Look, hashtag mood.
Look, I'm not even mad at it, to be honest.
I mean, it was the style back then. It was the style.
Right. Like,
So,
I mean, it wasn't like he was Kawhi Leonard in it. Like the only nigga,
you know what? You know what?
only nigga out here with braids. Like he wasn't that at all. But
Right. So I guess we like. What are your? So that's what I always do. Like, what are your favorite songs on this top three? No particular order.
So what's so different is one of my favorite songs, like of that era.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost feel bad picking it because it was a single, and you know me, I try to go to the deeper cuts.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as deeper cuts, Number One Fan was a little bop. I like that one. You know, you're singing about, you know, looking for my number one fan, and like, you know, you could be out there probably, you know, you got my poster on the wall, and you look at it when you feeling yourself, and it was a cool little song. Good little way to start the second half of again like this his whole Phase album. So
Right.
it was that one. God, I wasn't that big of like. I mean, like I like So Anxious, but I'm not putting it in my top three. Although again, it has a very specific function in life. I think I just liked Same OG more. Can I say that? Like, is that something I can get away with?
It's your list. I mean,
No, I mean, because I mean, think about it. Like, we've had sing-alongs of So Anxious on the timeline as a family. Like, I was there for that shit.
That's
and you know, it's such a fun song to sing out. Like, it's like you can type in 1010 at in 3 minutes on your side as of the time we're recording this. You can type in 1010 when it is, and like everyone on the TL will fill in the rest of that shit. It will just happen.
true.
And it's fucking glorious every time. But I like Same OG a little bit more. And I know it's a pain in the ass to hear that probably. But yeah, so what's so different? Number One Fan, Same OG?
Okay. For me, it would be Same OG, So Anxious, and I think I'm tied between Number One Fan and Crying. I'm Crying Out.
Okay, I can dig that. I'm Crying Out was a cooler jam. I like that one.
I think Crying Out. So for me, Same OG, So Anxious, and I'm Crying Out. Also,
I hated None of Your Friends' Business, by the way.
Why you hate Why you hate that?
I just did. Like, I didn't
Even
like
back
it. I didn't.
You hated it?
Huh?
Even back then you hated it, or something that you hated over time as its age?
I think my hatred of it has plateaued as time has passed. But like, I remember, it ain't none of your friends' business. Ain't like I just hated the repetitiveness of the chorus. I think the song could have been structured a little bit better. I will say that when I see you with your friends under my breath, like that little part is fun to like. Like you hit a song on contemporary radio, like it's fun to sing that part. I will say that much. But like, the rest of the song, I can't. Like, I just don't like it. Having said that, I totally understand why it was a single, but
I can.
It was also the fourth single. It was it was in the fall, and like the creep songs are like re-establishing as a thing. Like this is what we doing. Nobody else needs to know. Like the whole like genre was coming back, and
this definitely what's understood don't need to be explained album.
Right.
So, but also I would just like to say I do enjoy Genuine as an artist, but his covers of songs, because on the Bachelor, he had the cover of I just had the shit pulled up. On The Bachelor, he had the cover of When Doves Cry, which is arguably the worst cover of all.
Fucking garbage. Oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad.
It is. It is absolute trash.
Just the fucking worst. Oh my
It is
god.
arguably the worst cover of all time in all of musical history. As much as I enjoy Genuine as an artist, that right there is probably the absolute worst cover any artist has ever done in the history of music. And he followed it up on this album with a cover of She's Out of My Life.
Why?
Why, Genuine? Just why? I mean, in fairness, it is better than The Wind Does Cry, but that's still not saying much. Just why, Genuine? Just why? Why did you do that, Sharon? Why? So yeah, but that's it. Just stay away from covers, Genuine. Just please stay. The power of the cover has been stripped away. Are you playing
it? Did he? No, I'm playing Crying Out in the background.
Oh, okay.
I'm not doing that to myself. No.
So yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. That's all the show we had this week. Yeah, you got anything in outgoing? Because I really don't have nothing else.
Do I have anything else I want to say on the podcast? I'm gonna say no right now, and I'm gonna regret that by Thursday because something will totally pop into my mind. I'll be like, damn it, I should have said that.
That happens a lot when we record.
Mm.
Yeah, and also
it's the problem with structure. When we go on structure to get all that shit out, but
right. So
anyway, yeah, check out this album. Go back and listen to it. It's on most of the streaming services, if not all of them. Getting your hands on, say, Timbaland and Magoo might be a little more of a challenge, but
yeah, because we tried to do that once and we couldn't find the shit.
Right. Well, you couldn't find it. I had it uploaded in my cloud already, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
You use Spotify and I use Google Play, so like that shit was like not talking to each other at all.
Right. They didn't even have the same area code. So I have my usual, be good to yourself, be good to others. One thing I'm practicing and trying to be a better person is sometimes there are things that don't need to be a story. But I also don't have to step in the way of people of the story. That's my little tidbit. I'm still a terrible person, but I'm trying to be better. And putting genuine effort to try to be better. And sometimes just for my own sanity, I am learning I'm learning to just walk away from things, which is hard sometimes. Honestly, it is. But I'm just learning to walk away from things, and that sometimes some things, even if I'm right, it's not worth it. Yeah, that's I guess Jeremy's corner or whatever. But yeah,
Tears of Adante.
Yeah, you know what? I would have made that the show title, but we already did that for an old episode. So
we did.
So
you know what? I don't think this show has a title. That's one thing I will say.
I named I 100% whole album.
Okay, fine. While I'm playing the shit, of course.
Right. So we're gonna get out of here because we also don't want to get sued. We'll be back next week. We'll have some fun stuff for you. We might have a guest, who knows. But until then, be a greater hoe and not a hater hoe, and we will see you next week.
Yes. Time for me to go watch some soap cutting videos.
Bye.